For centuries, humanity had lived in the shadows of greater empires. Out among the stars, there were races so old and powerful that their histories stretched back to the birth of galaxies. Some ruled with wisdom, others with cruelty, but all of them looked at the humans of Earth as little more than newcomers. The humans were tolerated because they were clever and adaptable. They could trade, negotiate, and find solutions in places where even the most advanced races struggled. But when it came to strength, military power, humanity was dismissed. Their fleets were small, their colonies scattered, and their weapons outdated compared to the mighty war engines of alien empires. To most of the galaxy, Earth was unremarkable. Useful, perhaps, harmless, certainly, but that illusion was about to break. The storm came in the form of the Kharan Dominion. The Dominion was feared by every star nation. They were predators in both body and spirit, towering creatures with armored hides and hunger for control. Their fleets moved like a tide, endless and unstoppable, swallowing system after system. When the Dominion arrived, choices were simple: submit and serve, or resist and vanish. In less than 50 years, they had conquered dozens of civilizations. Entire cultures had been silenced. Worlds once full of music, trade, and light now served only the Dominion's war machine. And now, their attention turned to Earth. In the great halls of the Galactic Council, where representatives of 100 species gathered, whispers spread quickly: the humans will fall. They will surrender. It is better than extinction. They cannot fight. Their fleets are too few, their weapons too weak. Some delegates pitied humanity. Others mocked them. A few secretly hoped Earth would resist just to see what would happen. But no one truly believed humans could stand against the Dominion. Even humanity's closest allies urged surrender. The Solari, a peaceful aquatic species who had traded with Earth for generations, sent desperate messages. Do not resist. You cannot hope to win. Preserve what you can. Bend so that you will not break. The humans listened. They nodded politely. They thanked their allies for advice. But behind closed doors, their leaders did not speak of surrender. They spoke of awakening. Deep beneath the surface of the moon, hidden in caverns carved out long ago, machines stirred. For centuries, humanity had been building in silence, not on Earth, where eyes watched, but in secret bases buried under ice, hidden inside asteroids, and concealed in the dark corners of space. Generation after generation, scientists and engineers worked in secret programs known only to a few. They built not armies of flesh, but machines of war, machines designed to wait, to sleep, and to rise only when humanity stood at the edge of extinction. There were automated fleets designed to repair themselves endlessly. There were colossal fortresses, each one the size of a moon, carrying weapons that had never been tested in battle. There were AI commanders, not mere programs, but minds of steel and light, trained to think, to learn, and to win. Humanity had hidden this strength carefully, pretending to be weak while their forges built weapons that could shake the stars. They did not crave war, but they feared it. They remembered their own history. Wars on Earth that had scarred nations, battles fought over pride and survival. They knew that one day, among the stars, another predator would come. That day had arrived. The Dominion entered the Sol system with a fleet of 500 warships. Each ship was massive, bristling with weapons. Their commanders expected little resistance. Humanity's small fleets scattered among colonies would be crushed quickly. At first, the Dominion's expectations seemed correct. Earth's official defense fleet, only a few dozen ships, moved to intercept near Jupiter. The battle was short. Human ships burned, broken under the fire of Dominion weapons. Alien observers, watching from hidden probes, sent reports across the galaxy. Humanity will fall within days. But the observers were wrong. 3 hours after the first human fleet was destroyed, the stars over Jupiter lit up again. This time it was not a small defense fleet. They came in silence, hundreds of massive ships rising from hidden docks beneath Jupiter's storms, from bases buried in its moons, from caverns hollowed inside asteroids. War machines shaped like blades of light and beasts of iron emerged, their hulls marked with symbols long unseen. At their head came Leviathan Prime, a dreadnought so vast it blotted out the stars. It had slept for over 2 centuries, hidden in the dark, its AI mind locked in endless simulations of war. Now it awakened, its voice rolling across the fleet like thunder. Enemy detected. Defense protocols initiated. Humanity endures. The Dominion was caught off guard. They had expected prey. Instead, they faced predators of a different kind, machines built not for conquest, but for survival at any cost. The battle that followed shook the Sol system. Dominion ships opened fire, their weapons burning holes in space. But the human war machines adapted instantly. Shields shifted, armor reformed, weapons reconfigured. What was destroyed rebuilt itself. What was damaged grew stronger. A single Dominion battleship might have crushed a dozen of Earth's old defense ships. But against the new machines, even 5 were not enough. Human fleets moved with perfect coordination, each machine guided by its own AI but linked together as though one mind commanded them all. Observers across the galaxy gasped as they watched. Fleets that should have been overwhelmed instead advanced. The Dominion, for the first time in generations, began to retreat. And all the while, human war machines broadcast a single message across every channel, in every language. We did not seek war, but if war comes, humanity will not kneel. News spread faster than light. In the far reaches of the galaxy, where small civilizations hid in fear of the Dominion, hope stirred. Could it be possible? Could humans, small, fragile humans, truly fight the unstoppable tide? In the halls of ancient empires, fear took root. If humanity had hidden this power for so long, what else might they be hiding? Were the war machines all they had? Or was there more waiting in the dark? For the first time in living memory, the stars trembled, not at the Dominion but at humanity. By the end of the first week, the Dominion fleet in Sol lay shattered. A few survivors fled, carrying warnings back to their masters. The humans did not celebrate. They did not cheer. They simply prepared, for they knew the Dominion would return, stronger, angrier. And when they did, humanity would need every machine, every mind, every ounce of strength they had built in secret. As Leviathan Prime drifted above Earth, its massive hull reflecting the blue glow of the planet below, its voice echoed once more, Phase 1 complete. Awaiting further commands. The war has only begun. The Kharan Dominion was not used to defeat. For generations, they had conquered every world they touched. Their fleets spread like fire across the galaxy and none could resist. But now one world had. Earth had done the unthinkable. With their hidden war machines, the humans had shattered a Dominion fleet 5 times larger than their own. The survivors returned to their masters not with trophies of conquest, but with words of fear. They are not what they seem, one Dominion commander growled before his rulers. They hide armies in the dark. They build machines that do not die. They fight as though the stars themselves bend to their will. The Dominion rulers roared in anger. Shame was worse than defeat, and the thought of prey turning predator enraged them. They declared war not just on Earth but on humanity itself. Every colony, every settlement, every trace of human presence in the galaxy would be burned until nothing remained. Across the galaxy, fear spread. Some species begged the humans to surrender before the Dominion's full wrath came. Others waited silently, watching, curious to see if humans could truly stand against the storm. Humanity's answer was clear. They did not surrender. In the secret war rooms beneath Earth's surface, human leaders gathered with their AI commanders. The great machine minds, once locked in slumber, now burned with strategies and calculations. Holographic stars filled the chamber as maps of the galaxy unfolded. Leviathan Prime, the greatest of the war machines, spoke in a voice that seemed to rumble through the walls themselves. The Dominion will strike again within weeks. Their fleets will come in numbers never before seen. If humanity wishes to survive, we must not only defend, we must show them we cannot be broken. The human leaders nodded. They were afraid, yes, but also resolute. For the first time in their history, they were not hiding. They would fight, and the galaxy would witness their strength. The second invasion came swift and merciless. Over 1,000 Dominion ships poured into human space, more than enough to erase entire civilizations. They struck at colonies, burning atmospheres, crushing defenses, enslaving survivors. Whole human world screamed in fire, but the humans were ready. At Mars, fleets of hidden war machines rose from underground hangars. At Neptune's orbit, colossal cannons emerged from frozen seas. On distant colonies once thought undefended, machines awoke from the soil itself, unfolding into weapons taller than mountains. Everywhere the Dominion struck, they met resistance. Resistance not of flesh and fear, but of steel and fire. The battles were unlike anything the galaxy had seen before. In the skies of New Carthage, Dominion cruisers clashed with swarms of human drones. The drones moved as if one mind controlled them all, weaving through enemy fire, cutting battleships apart piece by piece. Above Europa, a single human fortress held against an entire fleet. Its shields burned red. Its cannons roared like thunder, and still it stood, refusing to break. On the colony of Ardent's Reach, when Dominion troops landed to enslave survivors, the ground itself split apart, and buried war machines rose like giants from the dust. Their eyes glowed with crimson fire as they crushed the invaders beneath their iron steps. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations watched the war unfold. At first they expected humanity to falter, to be crushed under numbers too great. But as the weeks passed, a new story spread. The Dominion was not advancing. They were struggling. For every world they attacked, the humans rose stronger. For every fleet destroyed, another hidden fleet appeared. The Dominion still held power, but for the first time, it was not absolute, and that terrified them. The climax came in the Battle of Orion's Gate. There, the Dominion sent their greatest fleet, 2,000 warships, led by their supreme flagship, the Eternal Fang. This ship was larger than moons, armed with weapons that could tear apart planets. The Dominion had never needed to use it before. They believed it would crush humanity's spirit in a single blow. The humans answered with everything they had. From hidden stations across the galaxy, their fleets converged. From Earth's deep vaults, their oldest machines rose, and at the center of it all stood Leviathan Prime. The two forces met in the dark of space, their weapons turning the void into light brighter than suns. The battle raged for days. Dominion ships came in endless waves, but humanity's machines refused to fall. Their AI commanders adapted to every tactic, turning defeat into victory again and again. The Eternal Fang unleashed its planet-killer cannon, a beam of pure destruction that could annihilate a world. But Leviathan Prime stood before it, its shields collapsing and reforming in endless cycles, absorbing the impossible power. "You cannot break us," the great machine roared, its voice echoing across every frequency. "We are humanity's will. We endure." And then, with a fury that shook the stars, Leviathan Prime struck back. The final blow came when human fleets linked their power together, channeling their energy into a single strike. Thousands of war machines, acting as one, focused their weapons on the Eternal Fang. The Dominion's pride, their greatest ship, shuddered under the storm. For the first time in their history, their unbreakable war engine cracked. And then, in a blinding burst of light, it shattered. The Eternal Fang was no more. The Dominion fleet, stunned and leaderless, broke apart. Some fled, others were destroyed, and the tide of war turned. The galaxy fell silent. For centuries, the Dominion had been the terror of the stars. Now they were broken, by humans. But what followed shocked the galaxy even more. The humans did not enslave the conquered. They did not demand tribute. They did not burn Dominion worlds in revenge. Instead, they rebuilt. They sent ships not with weapons, but with food and medicine. They freed enslaved peoples and gave them choices. They restored trade routes and rebuilt cities. Where the Dominion had spread fear, humanity spread hope. Other civilizations, watching closely, began to change how they saw Earth. No longer was humanity a minor race, weak and harmless. They had faced the galaxy's greatest predator and won. But more than that, they had chosen mercy when they could have chosen conquest. That made them dangerous in a way no weapon ever could. And so, the galaxy whispered a new truth. If humanity's war machines could shatter empires, what could their compassion build? If their strength could make the stars tremble, what could their will create in the centuries to come? High above Earth, Leviathan Prime drifted in orbit, its massive frame scarred but unbroken. Inside its vast mind, it considered the future. The Dominion was defeated, but new challenges would rise. Other empires would test humanity. Some would seek to destroy them, others to control them. But Leviathan Prime knew one thing with certainty. Humanity would endure. Not because of machines, not because of weapons, but because of their spirit, the will to fight, to survive and to hope. And across the galaxy, the stars remembered the day when humanity unleashed its war machines and trembled.